You know what's nice? That's the reaction this man always gets. Genuine enthusiasm, not that crap I got up front. Where they were at gunpoint told to be happy for the old lady. You got people really are happy to see you. How much of that is because you're from the Midwest, do you think, and that you're very in touch with being a Midwestern guy?
There is something about the Midwest. There's something, I think, that when you're from the flyover states, as they say, there's something, you just know you're not living the place that it's cool to be from.
Right.
And so it's character building.
Right.
That's what I would tell myself.
Yeah.
But there is something about, I look back at some of the, my friends I went to school with, and nobody gets too big for their britches.
Right, they probably don't let you. I mean,
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you're allowed to have like a big, it's like, it's sort of instilled in you. There's good Midwestern values, I think, that you have.
I don't know, but I do notice when I go back there that everybody seems to be kind of chilled out and happy. Like if you go to the grocery store, people, they're like, hey, ringing you up. Hey, have a great one. Thanks. People talk to each other. They're nice. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm immediately suspicious of that. When I'm in a store and someone's like, hey, how you doing, pal? I'm like, hey, let's just get the groceries and go.
And I lived in New York City for 25 years. It's not, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel when I go back to Kansas City, and my family's still there, and it's a nice town.
You also you've been loyal to your sports teams. Which is you're one of these phonies that went to one of the coasts and then suddenly took up their sports team, right? You grew up being a Chiefs fan, Kansas City fan?
It wasn't even until I kind of moved away from Kansas City that I really started I was always a Royals fan, and I liked the Chiefs okay, but I really started rooting for the Chiefs when I left. I think for that same reason, I thought, like, nobody's a Chiefs fan unless they're from Kansas City.
Right.
They're always kind of overlooked. When I was a kid, you were either Cowboys or Steelers. There were like two teams, and I was Steelers all the way.
Oh, you were a Steelers fan?
I was a Steelers fan as a little kid.
Because, what years are we talking about? Was it
like the late 50s. Like the good years.
They had no helmets then. I remember that.
Yeah, it was all the leather helmets.
I forgot. Yeah, you're 88 years old.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, and so it was fun. That was the way the game was intended to be played. It was like during the year, like those glory years, the Super Bowl years, and I was a little kid. My whole room was just a shrine to the Steelers.
Did you get to go to Steelers games?
I did. I got to go. I went to Three Rivers Stadium one time when I was a kid, and I went with a guy that worked with my dad who somehow knew Bradshaw and was able to get me into the locker room, which was, I couldn't even, these were my heroes. I couldn't even imagine seeing them in real life, let alone like going into the locker room. And it was the most incredible thing because I walked in and they were just all naked.
Everybody's naked. Yes, it's a locker room, but they're all completely naked.
I'm about 9 years old, and just like Mean Joe Green's dick and balls right past my face, which is just traumatic.
Was he walking by, or was he waving it in front of you?
I don't know. It was a little bit like looking at the sun. But I met Bradshaw, and Bradshaw was so nice, and he was having a conversation with me, and he was just in a jockstrap. What? And I don't even think I knew what a jockstrap was. And I just thought, he's wearing really weird underwear.
Yeah. He's a Broadway dancer.
It has no butt. There's no butt in his underwear.
If you don't know what a jockstrap is, seeing that for the first time would be upsetting.
Yeah.
It's like a bra for your balls.
And it's weird because afterward, I'd watch the game, and it's a little bit like going to a wake, and you see a dead body, and you can never forget that image whenever you think of the person, and it's like, well, now I just think of Terry Bradshaw.
Wait, so when you see him now, and he's on television,
I still remember it. Burned into my brain.
You're like a child that needs to draw it for the court, Tell us what you saw. Draw it.
But now, I'm obviously like a big, diehard Chiefs fan. I've taken my son to the locker room at Arrowhead, and the same thing happened to my son. When he was about 8 or 9 years old, and I feel like I can talk to him about it. I've had the experience, like shared trauma.
Yeah.
That we can say. Like,
I love that you gave your son that same trauma.
Right.
That's the best part. Oh, have a little of this. You see that? See that thing flapping around? Check that out.
That morning, wake up, son. I've got something special planned.
I'd like to introduce you to Dontari Poe.
It'd be great if you still introduced him to a naked Terry Bradshaw today.
I've never seen Terry Bradshaw since.
Yeah.
I would like to get past it. Just talk about it.
All right. I can arrange that.